You're on the phone with your girlfriend. She's going on for something. Oh, I think we are live. Yes. Okay. Where did we leave yesterday? API schema is multiple apply and the oh, I see. Oh shit! Private chats leak.
Fuck.
Some noises. Ignore the noises, please. Some background noises are too distracting. All right, we were at 23, right? A
Yes.
studio applies a custom layering API schema to one prim twice, once as an instance rigid and once as a deformable, each holding its own attribute values. Which two statements about the schema type and its identification are correct? C and E. Yes, each application recorded in the prim's API schema's metadata rather than changing its type name. It's it must be a multiple apply API schema which can be applied to a prim multiple times. Oh, distinct instance names. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So 24 is correct. We answered B. A delivery tool must turn a compose stage that references many external layers and depends on proprietary file format plugin into one self-contained portable layer. For an external layer, making all composition results with operation fits and what trade-offs apply. Flatten the stage which makes all composition arcs into one standalone layer. The trade-off is large file from duplicate assets and memory intensive process. So this was correct. 24A.
24A.
Oh, sorry, 24B and 24B is correct. 25 is A. That was also correct. So what was the question over here? The lacquer reference does not participate while raw is selected. Switching to lacquer is heavyweight switch that rebuilds part of composition index. That is correct. So what was the question? A variant set finish on slash chair has a lacquer variant whose opinion include prepend references. Materials USD slash look slash lacquer on the chair's material prim. The currently selected variant is raw, which authors no reference. What is the composition state of that material reference and what kind of switch is selecting lacquer? That is correct. Whatever the answer that was.
Mm-hmm.
26 is C. That is wrong.
C is wrong.
C is correct.
Okay.
B is wrong.
The tool must offer override so the land inside the current selected variant of a nested variant set. While different pass must author into specific sublayer of the stage root layer stack, which facility selects each contributing side for the opinion about to be authored. Okay, which facility select each contributing side for the opinion for the opinions to be authored? We selected USD resolved info, which select the contributing opinion side that will receive the new opinions being authored on the compound on the composed prim object, and the answer is USD will select.
A tool must author override so they land inside the currently selected variant of a nested variant set. While a
What was
def
which target was used to resolve, like used to move move the prims inside different stacks, right? So while a different pass must author into specific sublayer of the stage's root layer, which facility selects each contributing side for the opinion about to be authored. So it says which facility selects each contributing side for the opinions about to be authored. Which facility selects each contributing side for the opinions about to be authored. Okay.
One second, I'm gonna.
And why is what does this say? So easy. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'll be back 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
What
yes,
what did you find?
because a reader side and not an authoring redirect. Oh, so first of all, the USD resolve info is a read side introspection facility, not an authoring or slash redirect facility. So basically, it's saying that USD resolve info is usually used for debugging purposes, whereas the edit view or the USD editor is used for that the other part.
Author into the currently selected variant of a nested variant. When a prim bit. This question is testing whether you know the USD mechanism for controlling where an opinion gets written. Because in USD, set the attribute is ambiguous until you have said which layer and which composition context the opinion should land in. Let me unpack the two scenarios it sets up. Since they are deliberately different, pass one author into the currently selected variant of a nested variant set. When a prim has a variant set, and here a nested one, a variant set inside a variant set, another variant of another variant set, the opinions for each variant live inside a special variant container in the layer. The opinions for each variant live inside a special variant container in the layer. Just calling attribute.set won't put your edit inside that variant. It would land at the top level of the prim, so the tool needs a way to redirect authoring into the rigid variant of the style variant set, including down the reference. What the fuck? Do you understand what the question is asking?
Mhm. What is the question asking? That is a great question. Okay.
When your code writes a new USD opinion, how do you control exactly where that opinion is written?
Oh,
In USD, a compose stage can be made from many contributing places.
how is
Root layer, sublayer, reference layer, payload, variant, nested variant, slash session layer. So when a tool authors an override, USD needs to know the authoring destination.
only
The facility that controls this edit target, this is the edit target.
up and down.
So when a tool authors an override, USD needs to know the authoring destination. The facility that controls this is the edit target.
So,
Mm,
so which?
the NVIDIA study guide lists edit target under composition pipeline on the composition arc. Hmm. Let's take a look at what edit target was. A, B, C, D, E. Wow, they didn't define edit target in glossary. Wow. What the two part means, author overrides so they land inside the currently selected variant of a nested variant set. This means do not write the override normally into the current layer path, write it inside the active variants body. Example ideas. So they are saying variants, string model sport, and then variant set model sport override should land here. Variant set model is sport. For this, you see the variant sets edit context. With variant set dot get variant edit context author opinion here. Okay. That temporarily sets the stage's edit target. So the authored data goes into the selected variant. The temporarily sets that temporarily sets the stage's edit target. So the authored data goes into the selected variant. For nested variants, same concept, the edit target needs to map to the authoring path. Oh my god. What the fuck is this question asking? A different pass must author into a specific sublayer of the stage's root layer stack. Ignore the default root authoring layer. Write directly into one chosen sublayer. This means ignore the default root authoring layer. Write directly into one chosen sublayer. Okay. Ignore the default slash root authoring layer. Ignore the default slash root authoring. Write directly on into one chosen sublayer. Then future set. In simple words, the question is testing whether you know that USD authoring is controlled by the edit target, not by the compose result you are looking at. The compose stage at shows the final scene. The edit target decides where new opinions are actually written. What is exactly an edit target? The question is a tool must author overrides so they land inside the currently selected variant of a nested variant. Currently selected variant of a nested variant, while a different pass. What does a pass mean over here?
Where is
A
the
different pass
while a different pass must
must author into a specific sublayer of the stage's root layer stack.
author so that they land.
Sublayer of the stage's root layer stack. Okay, which facility selects
So
each contributing
I think
site.
there are
Wait,
two
one
tools.
second, one
I
second.
would say there are,
Which
so in the tool there are.
One second, bro. One second. Let
Yeah.
me complete this
Hmm.
first. Which facility selects each contributing site for the opinions about to be authored? And USD edit target, which selects any root layer stack sublayer or active variant of a top level or nested variant set. Okay, what were you saying?
So I'm saying that I think in the override we are doing two things. I would say so. A tool must author overrides so they land inside the currently selected variant of a nested variant set. Okay, so one override is regarding the selected variant of a nested variant set, and there is one more override that is going on over there that is going to be for a specific sublayer of the stage root layer. That's what pass means over here, because I think both of them are referring to the override. Like we can do multiple overrides, right? Like we can define two different prims and we can define two different overrides onto that both of the prims. That is what
Mm-hmm.
pass means over here, answering to your earlier question.
Mm-hmm. I see. Hmm. When I call set, define prim, create attribute, etc., which actual layer slash location should USD write into? I see. Edit target. A USD stage is only composed view. Only the composed view. It may be built from many layers, sublayers, references, payloads, and variants. So when you edit the stage, USD needs a target authoring location. That selected authoring location is the edit target. USD stage. USD needs a target authoring location. Target authoring. The selected authoring location is the edit target. The NVIDIA studio specifically commented the key on. Mm. Hmm. From many layers, you see the final image, but when you paint, the software needs to know which layer am I painting on. The selected layer is the target. In compose stage, what do you see the target? The compose stage is what you see the target is what your opinion gets written on. Imagine the stage root USD layout animation letting you look at world slash car and it has translate value. Okay. X form OP translates at 10.00. Where does that value go? Root.usda or layout.usda or animation.usda or lighting.usda. Get edit target default case stage.get edit target. This tells you the current authoring destination. Set edit target layout layer to write into specific. Oh, I get it now.
So what was the question? Was I correct or was I incorrect regarding
So it's basically
standing?
asking
Hmm.
what utility supports getting the correct source of the opinion for a particular edit that needs to be made on a USD stage.
Hmm.
So the concept behind it is edit target, and I think the utility would be get edit target, yeah, USD edit target, which selects any root layer stack sublayer or active variant of a top level or nested variant set. I mean, the question is sort of like it's very like the vocabulary is very fucked up. I would say that.
Hmm.
Like we might have gotten it correct if the phrasing would have been a little simpler, but
Hmm.
anyway. So USD edit target specifies which contributing site in the composition network receives opinions and it like this. One second. So stay default authoring destination, current authoring destination. To write into specific layer. So get attributes, cast dot get attribute XOP. Important edit target does not mean strongest opinion. This is a common trap. The edit target does not automatically mean the opinion will win. It only means this is where the opinion will be authored. Set edit target some weak layer means your opinion is written in some weak layer. But a stronger layer may still override it. So variants are special because this data is not just written to a normal prim location, it must be written inside the selected variant body. So variant string model sport, variant set model sport edit should land here truck. To write inside the selected variant set dot set variant selection. Sport with variant set dot get variant edit context car dot attribute. That edit context temporarily changes the stage's edit target so the opinion lands inside. And not just directly on the card. The clean definition and edit target is USD. Object is a USD object that tells the stage for the next authoring operation, write the new scene description opinion into this specific contributing layer slash site, possibly using the path mapping for variants or other composition contexts. USD edit target is equal to where USD writes new opinions. Okay. For exam question, which facility selects each contributing site for the opinion about to be authored? It's asking what controls where new USD edit gets written. The stage edits target, USD edit target. Okay, for a variant, variant set dot get variant edit context, and for a sublayer is set edit target. That is the core idea.
So it's only applicable for variant sets, not for opinions. That's what it is saying. Like when we do the USD edit target.
The stage is edit target. So USD edit target. For a variant, it's this, and for stage, it's this. For sublayer, it's this.
And can we change opinion with edit target? Look, wait, let me saw the user to target only applicable for variant.
Yeah, we can change opinion, obviously. That's what it says over here.
Where are we changing the opinion? Wait, I'm gonna anyways take a look. No, no, dude, we cannot change opinions. No, USJ is more general than just variant, and it is not limited to opinions. No, 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 wait. It is a
It is not limited to it.
yeah,
We
yeah.
can change.
It is a routing mapping object for any offered scene description.
Edit target is basically saying what opinion needs to be changed.
Okay.
Like where.
Okay.
USD edit target. Utility. I'm on the phone. Prim dot get attribute x from OP translates at 100. That line does not directly say with .usd file gets edited. Hmm.
What was the question? Okay, so I think now I get it based on the question. So if you are asked in the future that you have to specify which layer the opinion or the variant should land, the
Mm-hmm.
we have to use USD targets because
Yeah, but USD edit target is just a configuration or an object, USD object.
okay, so for USD allow you to work with composed. So okay, first of all, they allow you to all work with already composed prim.
Yeah,
That is
I
important.
know.
And the USD prim it contains while specifying which contributing site will receive the edits. Okay, 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 okay. I see. I see. Now it makes sense. Case one is they must land in the currently selected variant of a nested variant set, and second case is they must land in a specific layer of the root layer stack. Uh,
Mute your notifications, please, bro.
Brother, putting on D&D. D&D is on, yes. D&D is on. Let's see if I still get it. Is there a way to mute the freaking thing? iMessage, file, edit, view, conversation. Okay, so should we move the next question?
I'm just trying to understand. 1 second.
Mhm.
I'm just setting my alarms. All right. Yes, USD edit target is not just a utility function, it is a USD object configuration that lives. Okay. So, yeah, what were you saying?
I was saying, should we move to the next question? That's what I was saying.
1 second. I'm just a little bit confused
Mm-hmm.
in this concept that whatever, so like USD edit target, right? This is an object. But
Mm-hmm.
how is this actually used in Python?
In Python,
Like it's
we
like a
have
library or
so we have to. I think I know for sure we have to pass on the target name inside the parenthesis. So stage. So first of all,
that is no, that is in stage dot get edit target, right?
yes.
So this is different and this is different. USD edit target is different
Uh-huh.
and get edit target is different. So you're saying that
So
uh
it's a utility function. It's not just a utility function. So it's, you know what are utility functions first of all?
no.
Okay. So the thing is with utility functions, they are already predefined in our library, right? So they do not need any specific import first of all. So when we define a stage, the stage already knows that there is a utility function that exists. Whenever we create a new stage and all those things, so the all those functions gets preloaded
Mhm.
inside it, right? So that's what utility functions are for. As a so they act as a helper function when you want to use them, or when you want to do some kind of specific things
Mhm.
in a manner. Like for example, let's say, so I wrote my telnet operations library, right? So in my
Mhm.
library, I have certain set of sequence that I have to do again and again. So some of the
Mhm.
sequence that I have to do again and again are like logging into the device, or then sending some kind of commands. For example, shift
Mhm.
3 to reset the terminal, or maybe exiting out of the terminal by sending some other specific token, right? So all these kind of things, like you can do them all the time by creating a separate function in your whole code base. But since these functions are getting used again and again, right, by other
Mhm.
library, by other components, so you create a utils folder in which you put all the helper functions that you would need for your program, that are going to be used again and again, right? So over here, our helper functions are USD edit, because this is a function that our developers might use again and again. So instead of them doing it manually, we the OpenUSD developers have created a utility function called USD edit that helps us to basically play with a specific prim. Why? Because a
Mhm.
prim can be really big, right? A prim can have a stage. First of all, a stage can be really big, and in that stage you can have a lot of prims. So instead of manually
Mhm.
picking those prims, you can use this utility function to do the same thing that you would be doing manually, instead of writing the whole code, or instead of writing the function again and again. You use these functions to play out or do specific kind of behavior, such as variant selection, removing variant, adding variant, dating the stage hierarchy, moving prim in and out of the other prims or stages. So those things. So this is where utility functions comes in, and this is why USD edit is a
Mhm.
utility function as well.
I see. Okay.
All right, all right, all right. Let's go.
27th was ABE was correct.
Bam. That's a headshot.
Ahead. Wait, let me keep a tally of this one. That this was wrong. Okay, 27th was right. An extractor must author USD preview surface material from source colors and attach it to the mesh so it renders which three steps in the proper roles. Complete the preview shader chain. Author the shaders, diffuse color and roughness inputs from the extracted source. Apply USD material binding API to the mesh prim. Bro, this was fluke. I remember this.
Well,
This one was fluke.
but how can you say a multiple choice answer?
Bro,
If
but we
I
did it
have to answer,
via process of elimination. We didn't know the answer.
but
That's
we
what I'm
at least
saying.
knew two of the answers, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I won't say it's a fluke. If it would have been the other one, right, where we have to only answer one question, one option, right? Then I would definitely say it's a
Mhm.
fluke, because that's 1 by 4. But when you are given multiple choice questions, the odds are
Bro,
really.
my point is, if somebody would ask you this question without giving you any options, would you be able to answer? No,
Let's
right?
first take a look at the question. An extractor must author a USD preview surface material from source colors and attach it to a mesh so it renders. With 3 steps in the proper roles, complete the preview authoring chain.
And now imagine you don't have any options.
So I would definitely know the diffuse color, because we have read it so many times. I would be able to answer that, right? And I would also remember. I would be able to answer A and B for sure. Not
Sure.
in proper manner, but I would definitely remember the diffuse color thing, because we have read it so many times. I would have been able to answer that, and based on the snippet that is given. First of all, like no one's gonna pick you up and say, "Hey, dude, can you just tell me what is the USD previous service does?" And you would definitely be able to answer at that point, because you have already used it somewhere. Like you have to just recall the snippet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what was the connect the material service output to. Dude, this is also something that we read. So this was not a fluke, I would say. Like this is something, connect the material service output to shader using shader's connectable API. This is something we did read.
Yeah, this I remember in another quiz for connectable API. I remember this. That's why I selected E. I
Yeah, so
know. I
that's what
know.
I'm saying. So like this is not a
But
fluke. Like
the
you,
concept is not clear here. That's what I'm saying. That like you don't know the concept. That's what I'm saying.
so the thing is,
We
I
just
don't remember A and
we
B.
are just
The thing is,
relating it.
why don't we know the concept is because we do in Learn OpenUSD the whole module.
There is no USD shared thing.
There
I
is
don't think
USD shade, but there is no mention of connectable
practical.
APIs. Connectable APIs. That is the thing. So there is definitely diffuse color thing in the documentation of Learn OpenUSD. There is definitely a mention of
Mhm.
USD shade material binding API, because this is the API that is being used for encapsulation, right? And that's why we have been seeing this thing a lot of times, right? But E we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. Lucky.
You had to be only one time right to make a million. That one bet. And it only comes from fucking practice, bitch.
You win big.
Yes.
Justin Gagey. An extractor must author a USD preview surface material from source colors and attach it to mesh so it renders. Okay, with three steps in the proper roles. Complete the preview shader authoring chain. So one is USD shade dot material. This is a material container. It is the thing you bind to the mesh. Okay. So what are the correct? The question is asking what are the correct USD shading objects and connections needed to turn source colors into renderable USD preview surface material on a mesh. The NVIDIA study guide places under visualization, assigning USD preview surface material binding material to meshes and creating a USD preview surface shading network. Create a USD shade material. This is a material container. It is the thing you bind to the mesh. I see material is equal to USD shade material dot define stage slash world slash look slash red material. The material is not the shader itself, it is the bindable wrapper around the shader network. See, I see. Are you ready for the long weekend?
Yes, brother.
Your weekend has already started.
Yes, brother. My weekend has already started.
Fucking FSU cunt.
What if a second, bitch? It's state job, bitch. State job.
Uh, that's all right.
It comes at a
My
price,
weekend
bitch.
will
It
start
comes at a
tomorrow.
price, and you know the price.
Yeah, bro, but it's fine.
Yeah, it comes at a price. Are you
Hmm.
willing to pay the price? Some people
I am already paying the price, brother.
it comes at a price. No, this price is much heavier. This price is freaking much heavier.
I am paying the price in full. I'm living like a fucking student. I'm living even worse than when I was
But I'm
a
living
fucking
between the students. My roommate is a student, brother.
That's true. Bro, literally when I was making pennies, I had a better lifestyle.
So this is what you call life.
Yeah, I was happy. But now that I'm making money, it's it's all a lie, bro. Like, but
Yeah,
fuck
bro,
it,
I
whatever.
know. That's why my end goal is to just get a big farm and live the life. Fuck robotics,
Ranch.
fuck everything. I'm just gonna own a fucking farm and be my own.
Mm, I see. What are correct USD shading objects? The NVIDIA study guide, blah blah blah. Correct chain is create USD material, USD shade material. This is a material container. It is the thing you bind to the mesh. Material equals to USD shade dot material dot define stage. Okay. So material equals to USD shade dot material dot define author shade diffuse color and roughness input. Inputs from the extracted source value. Binding API, USD shade dot shader material binding API. So the full conceptual chain is source color, USD preview surface shader input diffuse color, shader input output surface, material output surface, material binding API on the mesh renders with the with that material. The exam idea is you do not bind the shader directly to the mesh. You create USD shade dot material, connect it to USD preview surface shader, then bind the material to the mesh using USD shade material binding API. Okay. So author shaders, diffuse color and roughness inputs from extracted source values. Apply USD shade dot USD shade dot material binding API to the mesh prim and bind material to it. Connect the material surface output to the shader using the shader's connectable API and the surface token. Mm. The full connect the material surface output to the shader surface output. Create USD shade node material. Uh-huh. USD shade dot shader with info ID USD preview surface and authorized inputs. USD preview surface shader dot create ID attribute USD preview surface. Here the source color becomes the shader's diffuse color. Connect the material surface output to shader surface output and then bind the material to the mesh. Material dot create surface output dot connect source shader dot connectable API. Okay, I see. Hmm. Let me. What is this? How should I remember this? Like how would I down my notebook? Hmm. Bro, fucking useless motherfuckers.
User preview. What happened?
This fucking keep shouting and
Noise cancellation at max.
because you are not hearing that. I'm hearing that.
No, I know that's why I'm saying noise cancellation. I'm not saying uh, that you are not. No, bro, nothing, bro. Fuck it. No point of explaining anything.
Material binding. Make the material, make the shader, connect. Make the material, make the shader, connect the shader, bind the material. Fucking jobless motherfuckers playing games.
I see.
Material shader, connect, bind. Material shader, connect, bind. USD, preview surface material. Shade, won't take for it and make a mesh render with it. USD, shade dot material. This is the bindable container meshes. Shade dot material, USD shade dot shader. The bindable material container, create USD shade dot shader, connect material surface output to shader surface output, bind material to mesh, apply material mental picture, color data, USD preview surface shader, USD material, USD shade material, material binding API, mesh render with material, key expand track. Don't remember it as shader mesh, shader material mesh. Okay, bro, remember this.
Shader mesh, shader material mesh,
Do not remember it as shader mesh.
shader material mesh. Okay, yes, so material and then mesh. Shader, and then we
No.
select the material and then we select the mesh. Okay, okay. Think of it mental picture, color data, USD preview surface, USD preview surface shader, USD shade material, material binding API, mesh renders with material. USD preview surface shader, USD shade material, material binding API, mesh renders with material. Okay. So we have color data, then we use the preview surface, and then we use the USG shade with material, and then we bind the material using the material binding API,
Mesh
and then
renders.
with material. Okay, so I think we're binding the material with the mesh, right? Or or not? That's my question over here. Are we binding the material with the mesh or are we binding the material with the shader?
Are we binding the material with the mesh?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what is happening. Bind material to mesh.
Yes.
That's the final step.
Okay, okay, that's the final step. Okay, perfect.
Bro, there's some weird sort of dryness that I'm getting over here. I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the options were author the shaders, diffuse color. That is the first thing. And then apply USD shade dot material binding API to mesh. So this is not in the correct order, but the options are correct. USD preview surface shade, USD shade material, and then material binding API, and then mesh render with material. So what happens is create USD shade dot material. This is the bindable material container. Bindable material container. Okay. Meshes bind to the materials, not directly to the shader. Create USD shader dot shade dot shader. Set info ID USD preview surface and other shader inputs. Diffuse color, source color. Connect material surface. Output to shader surface output. Material output surface. Shader dot output surface. Mm-hmm. The key exam trap. Okay. So the shader defines the look, material packages the shader network, and binding attaches the material to the mesh.
I
Mhm.
see.
All right, 28. You answered B, I answered D. Answer was D, bitch.
Yes. So the get type returns the family described for all three versions of its stored in only in metadata. And the answer is the schema family described groups. All three get type name returns, each prim's full version schema. Yeah, this was a gamble. I know I might be wrong, but okay. The schema family described groups all three. What was the question? Under the USD schema versioning, a stage has prims typed disk 1, and disk 2. A tool must group all three as one conceptual schema. Which identifier groups them, and what does USD prim get type name return per prim? So the schema family disk groups all three get type name returns. Okay, let's take a look at. Can you open this URL that we have below the source URL to see more deeper into the, because this is a weak topic that.
Yes, schema versioning. Oh no, schema versioning is like too long.
Like only this, let's take a look at that. Get type only that part first. The get type name, like where is that API call? Where does it exist?
Get type.
Name, yeah. Maybe you can do a search, right? We can do a search in the thing, right, or not?
Yes, get type name. Schema types with version scheme names. Schema names.
Okay, so this is the name that represents all versions of what would be considered the same schema. This will be same as the schema identifier of version 0. of the schema, that is a schema name with no version suffix. So the sphere light example above, sphere light 1 and sphere light would have all the schema family of sphere light, but moving forward, GUI that communicates high level prim type information to user want to query for the schema family rather than the schema identifier. Oh, okay. So everything gets stored under sphere light, and then you have to query this rather than the schema identifier. But what is the schema identifier? Because this is the name of the name of the schema as it appears in the schema.usd that defines the schema and is what a prim's type name must be set in order to associate with the schema. For typed schemas, API schemas, this name is added to the API schema metadata to apply the API to prim. The schema identifier is where the schema version is embedded and will be unique per schema type version. Okay, and the schema type. This is the TF type. What is the what was TF? Did we take a look at that? What is the full form of TF? We have TF valid
Mm,
identifier, TF
TF type, we don't know.
identifier.
TF type represents dynamic runtime classes.
What is the full form of TF in OpenUSD?
What is TF?
Look in. Okay, in OpenUSD by itself doesn't correspond any standard open structural term. What the fuck? This is hallucinating. I think.
Wait, I'm asking.
Yeah.
Whole foundation library.
Tool foundation library. Okay. Yeah. I knew it is something related to foundation. What is the exact thing that I don't know?
So this mental model is pretty important.
Foundation utilities, low level scene description, PCP, composition engine, USD, high level scene API, geometry schema, shading schemas. Okay. Foundation utilities, USD, PCP. Okay, wait. So USD comes and then PCP comes. Oh, this is the level how it goes. Okay, so the high level engine is USD, and then PCP is the composition engine, and then SDF is the foundation layer, and TF is the tool foundation. That is the foundation utilities. Okay. Scene description foundation.
Uh, mm, okay. USD. Oh yeah, we did tool foundation for the TF debug. You remember?
No, I do not remember. That's why I was not recalling the TF thing.
Yes, now I remember. Yeah. Study guide mentions TF debug diagnostic delegates trace and TF malloc tag under debugging and troubleshooting. Where is which is where TF most often appears for exam style questions. So USD's foundation utilities, tool foundation library, errors, warnings, debug output, errors, warnings, debug output, token notices. Mental model USD has major modules like mm-hmm, foundation utilities, low level scene description. Composition. USD hello compose scene API. Geometry scheme. Shading scheme. Bro, you know what my HR messaged me?
What?
She said, now that your friend has left the job, you stopped coming to the office.
Oh, regarding what? Beer. What was it?
Yeah, yeah, Beard.
Beer. Damn.
She's like, now that your best friend has left the job, you have stopped coming to the office. What is this behavior?
So what did you say?
I was like, no, no, I just have a good setup at home now, so I prefer, and
Oh,
I get a lot distracted.
did she say, "Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh really? Oh really?"
she's like, so should we like use your desk now? I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Wow. I think she was waiting for your approval.
Yeah, she was.
Oh my god.
That's why she asked me.
Oh really? That's so great, Sharia. Oh my god.
EF sits near the bottom. Any other USD system depends on it. Okay. So this is important. TF debug used to turn debug message on and off. TF diagnostic MGR handles diagnostics, error warning, status messages. Uh-huh. Diagnostic. Okay. What does that actually mean? Hmm. You're reading the versioning. Pixar has been executing changes to schemas in USD project nearly since project's inception. As our understanding and requirement for core schemas has evolved, however, these changes have been developed and deployed with contained ecosystem perspective that we can afford as animation studio, namely that new version and the software containing the changes will be available to all consumers of affected assets. Any assets that are considered active can relatively easily generated using the new version of the software. These assumptions, blah blah blah, combined with bespoke backward compatibility code for consuming old style data until all necessary assets have been regenerated, have allowed us to make substantive blah blah schema versioning. There are at least four challenges to providing robust and useful versioning support in USD itself due to USD's inherent characteristic and requirements. Composition makes prim version a difficult query. Uh, Multi-level authoring APIs may complicate version scene description. Imagine that we address the previous challenges in the most straightforward way by associating a version tag that with strongest defining prim spec for a version type. Schemas. The generated schema class define method provide an opportune and logical place to add version tag immediately upon defining the prim, but lower level methods exist and are used for defining prim such as USD stage define prim as well as the much lower level SDF prim spec new, and they know nothing of schema versions. So anyone using these lower level APIs must remember to record schema version when defining a prim, which seems brittle. Prims can possess numerous proposal for per schema versioning. We already saw this. This was one of the questions right over there,
Which one? Yeah, yeah, this was a question. The schema version will be embedded in schema
and
element.
this was somewhat related to this.
But
So under USD, per schema versioning stage has prims, desk light 1, 2.
but like if we go down, this was the thing. Schema types with version schema names. This was the thing that they asked for. The identifier.
Wait 1 second.
Yeah,
Let me read this. A stage has prims typed disk light 1, 2, and tool must group all these three as one conceptual schema, which identifier groups them. And what does USD prim get type name return prim per prim? The schema family disk light groups all three. Yes, I knew this. And then get type name returns each prim's full version schema identifier. Oh, this is the schema identifier type and family. Okay. So we will use the following nomenclature to describe the different type names associated with a schema type. Schema identifier, this is the name of the schema as it appears in the schema.usda that defines the schema and is what prim type name type name must be set to in order. Oh, this is the name of the schema as it appears in the schema.usda. Okay. That defines the schema and is what a prim type name must be set to in order to associate it with that schema for typed schemas. For API schemas, this is the name added to the API schemas metadata to apply the API to the prim. The schema identifier is where the schema version is embedded and will be unique per schema type and version. I see. I think this is a job for AI. Hmm. The Python code is not writing text manually, it is authoring USD opinions into an SDF layer. Python API call USD runtime object authored opinion in an SDF layer saved USDA USDC USD. Uh-huh. Cube.create size attribute 2.o author an attribute opinion called size with value 2.o onto the current edit target layer. When saved as USDA UC double size equal to 2, what each module is doing. USD is a USD high level scene API. Used it for opening stages, creating stages, getting frames, composition and targets. Layer path, value type name, low level specs, asset path, chain blocks. When you create an attribute, you often use SDF dot type, value type name, attribute. Okay, SDF dot value type name defines attribute data types. Is geometry module used for this? Mm-hmm. They are APIs used to create slash edit you've seen description. Python code, high level stage frames, composition and targets, low level levels, geometry schemas, mesh XOM cube, camera, prembars, flow, Python API call, USD object schema wrapper, authored opinion, USD flare, save as USD. It's not manually print USD text, it authors structured USD data. USD is just one readable serialization of that data. USD, SDF, USD, etc. are not separate file formats, they are API modules. Oh, they are API modules.
With the what? The shade. Wait.
No. USD, SDF, all this.
Wow.
You import them in Python and or use them in C++ to read, author, inspect, compose, debug, and save USD data.
I see.
Let's understand this now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, bro, start reading this. This is the schema versioning.
Okay, so this section is explaining how USD names and trap different versions of same schema. The NVIDIA guide lists custom schema, USD gen schema, tool foundation, and built in USD schemas as certified topics. So this is directly in customizing USD data modeling area. So first, what is the problem we are solving? Imagine USD has a schema called sphere light. Later, the schema changes. Maybe new attributes are added, old behaviors changes, or the structure is updated. USD needs a new way to distinguish sphere light original version, sphere light version 1, version 2. So USD may name like sphere light underscore 1, sphere light underscore 2. The confusing part is that the USD uses three related names over here. As we can see, schema identifier, schema type, and schema family. They sound familiar, but they answer different. They what the fuck? What do
They answer different questions.
questions? Schema identifier. The schema identifier is the name that appears is in the USD scene description. This is the name a prim actually uses in USD. That is, I guess, the key light over here is. Sorry. Spear light is the schema identifier over here. And for a version schema, Spear light 2 would be a different identifier. And so the schema identifier is authored USD type name. So for typed names, it appears it as the prim type. Def mesh car body. Mesh is the schema identifier over here. And for API, it appears in API schema as metadata. Wait, okay, what the fuck? For typed names, it appears as the prim type. Oh, so the type names that are like already exist. Okay, these are not the custom schemas. Okay, okay, makes sense. Now here, some API underscore one is the applied API schema identifier. Let's go down.
Wait, for API schemas, it appears that API schemas metadata. Oh, so the typed APIs, so typed prim schema is not considered as a schema identifier.
Yeah.
Mesh is the schema identifier, and over here
Mesh is a
XForm is
typed identifier. XForm is a common API schema. So mesh is something
for
like
typed schema. It appears as the prim type. So mesh is the schema identifier.
yes.
Okay, for API schemas, it appears in API schemas metadata. So over here, def xform car prepend API schemas some API one. Here, some API one is the applied API schema identifier. Okay,
Yes.
schema identifier is equal to the exact schema name written in USD data. For typed schemas, prim type name. For API schemas, name inside API schemas. Version is embedded here. Spherelight 1, 2. The schema type is the runtime. Okay, read this schema type.
Schema type is a runtime TF type tool foundation type over here. As we can see, so we have TF type representing the schema definition. So this is more about USD software runtime, not the USD text. Example from the passage schema identifier spear light. Schema type is USD lux spear light. Now for version schema identifier is gonna be spear light 1 and the schema type will be USD lux spear light underscore 1. Vice versa for sphere light 2 and USD lux sphere light underscore 2. This connects to what we discussed earlier about tool foundations. So tool foundation, that is TF type, is USD's internal type system. It lets USD know the schema name corresponds to this generated schema class type. So if USD sees this in a file, def spearlight underscore 2 and keylight, USD can ask the registry when runtime schemas type correspond to spearlight underscore 2. And the answer would be something like USD Lux spearlight underscore 2. Notebook version, that is going to be schema type, that which is equal to the runtime TF type generated schema class for the exact schema, and each version gets its own unique schema type. Okay, so I think we
I
just,
didn't understand schema type. What the fuck does that mean?
so like you will just take a look at the code first. Like what do you understand by the code first?
This one.
Yeah, like the sample code that you have over the written over here in the above. Not that one. The this one. Yes.
Example. Schema identifier is Fairlight. Schema type is USD Lux Fairlight for version schemas. Schema identifier is Spherelight 1, USD Lux Spherelight 1. Schema type is USD Lux Spherelight 1. Schema identifier is Spherelight 2. Schema type is USD Lux Spherelight 2.
Okay.
This.
So
Hmm.
so now read the third line over here after this connects. What does that, what does that say over here? It says that TF type is USD's internal type system. It
Mm-hmm.
lets USD know the schema name corresponds to this generated class slash type. So you so basically what it is saying over here is, so for example, let's say you first created your default schema that is going to be sphere light, right? In that you added some attributes, let's say radius, length, the color of the light, like that. Now you are like, no, I think this thing won't work. Let me create another version, and in that version, I'm gonna give a bit more flexibility. I'm gonna add two lights or three lights, something kind of like that, or three colors. I'm gonna use RGB coloring instead of a single color, right? So there is now a new schema that is gonna be called Spear Light One. That is the identifier, and the schema type for that will be USD Lux Spear Light 1. That's what it says, right? And
I don't understand. Wait, what?
so, do you understand what is schema? First, tell me that.
Yeah,
What is
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is an API thing that is being called by. It's like a Python API that is being called by
no, no, no.
the
Literally, what is schema? That's what I want to know first. What is
schema is like a blueprint kind
right?
of thing.
And what will schema have?
It will have like certain. I don't know what will it have? Like
Opinions, attributes, properties. That's what schema will have. Like if you scroll up, it says right over here. Go up,
yeah.
go up, more up, more up, more up, more up, more up. Go up, more up. Yeah, go down a bit, a bit, a bit. Yeah, I think yes over here. Start reading from first. What the problem is this? Yeah,
Imagine USD has a schema called Spherelight. Okay.
and later.
Later the schema changes, maybe new attributes are added, old behavior changes, or the structure is updated.
So now you get it. What is schema over here? The literal meaning,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you're versioning them, you might change the schema blueprint, and when you do that, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
version it. Spear Light One, Spear Light,
Yeah, okay.
right? That are your identifiers. Basically
Mm-hmm.
that will help you pick. Okay, I think you, pick in a way that, okay, I want to go with Spearlight 1 schema this time because this fits perfectly for my current use case,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that is your identifier over there. Now that's how you identify it. When you want to call, like when you if you go down now, if you go down,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's, no, no, go up, go up, go up a bit, go up a bit, right? Yes, over here.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, you have def, sphere light, key light. So
Mhm.
your identifier is sphere light. So it will
Mhm.
by default pick up the blueprint that you have already set.
Mhm.
Now you're like, no, I want to change that schema to something else. So now you're gonna mention your a new identifier that is gonna be sphere light 2, and this will change your blueprint,
Mhm.
right? So now you have two schemas with different attributes or different properties or different structure, right? This is the way
Mhm.
we do it. Like this is the way USD picks it up, right? Now
Mhm.
if you go down, yes. Now over here, if you go up a bit, yes, right, up a little bit down, a little bit down, yeah, down, 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 down. Yes, that's it. So over here we have this schema type is a runtime TF type representing that schema definition.
Mhm.
What it does is, so whenever you call sphere light, it's gonna map to this type USD
Mhm.
sphere light.
Mhm.
That is the schema type that you have defined in the schema.
Mhm.
That will be some kind of specific thing. You would that will consist of all the attributes or anything that you have structured.
Mhm.
Right? That's the identifier USD picks up. USD does,
Mhm.
USD won't pick up the sphere light. Whenever you mention sphere light, it's a value key pair mapping that exists. So identifier is your key and value is type.
Identifier is the key and schema type is your value.
Yes, for USD software runtime, not the USD text. It
Okay.
says over there. So when you
Mhm.
compile it, how will your system know? How will your system know that okay, sphere light is mapped to this type? How will your system know?
Mhm.
The system
Mhm.
will look upon the identifier and then
Mhm.
match the appropriate type to it to
Mhm.
compile the complete blueprint.
Mhm.
This is what we this is what connects your identifiers and schema all together. So like
Mhm.
you won't have your TF type you being used in OpenUSD, like in the
Mhm.
USD file, but this is something that is being done in the background by the OpenUSD compile engine.
Mhm.
That whenever you select or set sphere light in your text in OpenUSDA, it's going to pick up that specific type that is already predefined in the
Mhm.
background. So that's what types are over here.
Mhm.
Oh, I will be back and get some water. Right?
Mhm.
As it says, TF type is USD's internal type system. It lets USD know this schema name corresponds to this generated schema class type. So that is completely internal. We won't ever know what is the type. If you want to know the type, we will use the debugging tool TF type to figure out what is the type of that schema.
Mhm.
But on surface, we will always use identifier to define our schemas when we for our for selecting appropriate trim or defining a trim.
Mhm.
That's what it says over here. You get it or
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah.
So the schema type is the runtime TF type representing that schema definition. This is more about USD software runtime, not USD text. Examples from the passage: schema identifier sphere light, schema type USD lux sphere light. For version schemas, schema identifier sphere light 1, schema type USD lux sphere light 1, schema identifier sphere light 2, schema type USD lux sphere light 2. This connects to what we discussed earlier about TF. TF type is a USD's internal type system. It lets USD know this schema name corresponds to this generated schema class slash type. One second. What is blueprint data model that gives meaning to a primitive defines? Mhm. 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 Okay. Schema type is a runtime TF representing. This connects to what we discussed earlier about TF. TF type is USD's internal type system. It lets USD know the schema name corresponds to generated schema class slash type. So if USD sees this in a file, USD can ask the registry what runtime schema type corresponds to Spherelight 2. The answer would be something like USD Lux Spherelight 2. The runtime TF type generated schema class for that exact schema version. Type generated schema class for that exact schema version. Oh, I get it now. So for that particular schema version,
Mm-hmm.
the type that gets generated is called the schema type.
Yes.
I see. Each version gets its own unique schema type. Ah. So if USD sees this file, Spherelight 2 keylight, you can ask USD can ask the registry what runtime schema type corresponds to Spherelight 2. The answer should be USD Lux Spherelight 2. I see. Okay, schema family. The schema family is the shared base name for all versions of same conceptual schema. The schema family is the shared base name for all versions of same conceptual schema. The schema family is the shared base name for all versions of the same. Okay. Spherelight. So, example, Spherelight 1, Spherelight 2, all these belongs to the same family, schema family, Spherelight. Okay. This is useful when a tool or UI does not care about the exact version. For example, GUI may want to show the user the prim is a Spherelight, not this prim is specifically Spherelight 2. The exact identifier matters for compatibility and authoring. The family matters for high level user meaning. Notebook version, schema family, the version independent name. It groups all versions of the schema. Spherelight, Spherelight 1, Spherelight 2 family is the Spherelight. Simple table. Use this in your notebook. Version schema names. Example identifier Spherelight, Spherelight 1, 2. Identifier is the exact name authored in USD. Typed schema, prim type name. API schema token in API schemas. Okay. What is exactly token? We have seen that multiple times, right?
I think that is kind of a string value that gets set into the USD compiler. That's what we read somewhere. It's a string value representation.
I
When
see.
we use uniform, it's kind of a string that's gonna get identified by the USD compiler. And okay, this is the thing that we have to do. That's what I remember, and that's what it is, I would say.
I see. Been here the whole summer. I'm the one who understands you. All right, I think I understand this. Do you want to read this one more time?
No, I already read that. I think in this it says somewhere about the tokens. If you want to read, you can read it.
Where? In this
Yeah,
documentation?
in this documentation, that this is where I read about that tokens. The thing that you just asked me.
What is it?
Search token. Like do Command F and do token.
Mm-hmm. Where? Which one?
Uh, TF token. Go down. I think these are all the references. Do enter, and then yeah, managing a change to token, allow token.
Bro, just tell me, bro. What the fuck did you read?
This is
Just
where
tell
I read
me.
it, brother. This is where I read it. I think you were scrolling it, and then that's where I read it. Like I just got a glance of it, and then I just got that specific statement that where it says that.
You're a fucking bitch ass. Bro, Diet Coke is actually pretty good.
Yes, brother. Everything is super awesome. Every fucking.
No, I'm saying Diet Coke is good because it helps you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, come over the craving, like sweetness cravings, and
Oh,
it's not that harmful.
yeah, dude. Yes. Nothing is harmful, brother. I'm saying.
A short named USD value used as identifier or enum like label. It is basically a string like value, but USD treats it specially for efficiency and consistency. The study guide lists token as one of the important USD SDF value types alongside float, matrix 4D, time samples, prim properties, and built-in schemas. Simple version, a token is the value like render default proxy, face varying USD preview surface, material binding API, Fairlight 2. It looks like string, but conceptually it means this value should be one of a known set of names. Uniform token purpose render. Hmm. So do you understand what this means, brother?
I'm just going through that. Token is a value render default. It, it looks like a string, but conceptually it means the value should be one of the set names. So uniform token purpose render. Set to token in your schema. Give me a minute. Ooh. Okay. The study guide lists token as one of the some token is a value. It looks like a string, but conceptually it means this value should be one of a known set of a names. Hmm. I think ask him how does USD does it in the background? How does these tokens get set into the background? That's what.
Let me read this one.
Yeah. I just read it. Just that's a token value. That's all.
The study guide lists token as one of the important USD SDF value types alongside float, blah blah blah. Token is a value like render, default, proxy, face varying. Oh, this is a token. USD preview surface material binding. Okay, it looks like a string, but conceptually it means this value should be one of a known set of names. USD token purpose render. Your purpose is set to the token value render, not just random text in your schema reference. The line you asked about said something like for API schemas, this is the name added to the API schemas metadata. So, okay, more specifically, API schema is equal to list of tokens, material binding API, one token in that list. Apply material binding API schema to the just. Okay, let it be, bro. So regular string is usually free form text. TF token is an internal string. That means USD stores the unique text once and can compare it very quickly. But in many Python USD APIs, you can just pass a normal Python string and USD converts accept it as token when where needed. How it appears in Python for an attribute with token type. Uh, from Pixar import USD. A token is a string-like identifier used for named values, used for schema identifiers. Example this in USDA uniform token purpose render prepend API schemas. So in the schema version referencing schema identifier a token slash name like spherelight2 and for API schemas is list of tokens saying which API schemas are applied. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I think we can go to the next question. Did I tag this one? That this is wrong. I think so. Oh no, this one mine was correct. Hmm. So get type name returns each prim full version schema identifier. Groups all three get type name returns each prim's full version schema identifier. So now do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Get type name returns each prim full version schema. Question 29. This should be correct. B. That is correct. But a validation pass must visit only prims that are simultaneously active, defined, not just an over and not abstract class prims. A developer writes predicate equals to USD prim is active and USD prim is defined and not USD prim abstract and passes it to USD prim range. But traversal still visits only over only and class prims. What is the defect? and the correct expression. Hmm. Python and node keyword combined. What is it? Sorry. Where does it say this in the fucking documentation?
What?
This UL Python and
What
USDT
it
combined.
says somewhere, I do remember. It's in the notes. It's in the notes somewhere. I do remember for
Oh
sure.
yeah, over here. Predicate are combined using bitwise operators. Hmm. Okay. Still visits over only and class prims. What is the defect and correct expression? Oh, caution. Look at this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is what I remembered. And or not, we cannot.
How are you so smart that you remember everything? Like, this is fucking
My cross. I'm trying just I haven't doing some kind of
what?
additional things in my life.
What?
Additional forms of stuff,
Right.
creational
That's
activities, recreational activities.
brother on you're on stream and USCIS is watching.
Yes, brother, recreational activities. Going to gym daily. Cardio, bitch.
I see.
Leech Recreational Center. You remember it, brother? Leech
Bobby.
Recreational Center. Rec.
Bobby Beach.
Bobby Leach.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you want to continue or do you want
Let's at least complete checking this. Okay, 30th we are wrong.
to 30th
30th.
wrong? Fuck us.
No, I think we're gonna have a lot of wrong questions from 30th. I feel that.
448 prototypes at 3.
Oh, bro, I was telling you. I was telling you.
So the prototype stays 3. Identical overrides on D instance copies are not shared. So the new prototype shared by decal less box would be more optimal. Okay.
A stage reports instances 1450, prototypes 3. A TDD instances two separate boxes, each a D instance. Oh, wait. Each a distinct instanceable prim, applying the identical decal hiding override to both. After both edits, what do instances? What do the instance and prototype counts become, and why isn't it optimal? I see. I think I know the answer why it is B.
Why?
The instance box removes one instance or two instance. Take instance from one for yes. This is what I thought. While prototypes uses what spawns no pro. Yes, I should have remembered this, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is why I was getting confused. Like I was thinking that it will
Okay.
create two separate prototypes, but in reality, yeah, this I should have, bro. This question we should not have gotten wrong.
I see.
It's basically saying that when it de-instanced two prims, like two whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
instances, when the two instances were de-instanced, they were basically like there was no prototype for it. It was basically just getting rendered on itself. So there was no new prototype for that. Yeah, so it should have been B. Yes. Okay. We are wrong in 30. 31. A studio model and assets as parallel work streams. So let's see what. 31 is A and C. Yes, this is correct. This was easy, so I'm not gonna go in depth. 32
So
is
wait, can
D.
you go back to to that question again? Why? Wait. So it says that prototypes three, TD instances, two separate boxes, each at distinct instanceable frame, applying identical decal hiding override to override both. After both edits, what do instance and prototype count becomes? So we have removed two instances, so that's why we will have 1448. But why will prototype stay the same? Identical overrides on D
No,
instance.
because we
Oh,
don't need prototypes for this. This is getting rendered on its own. We don't require prototype.
okay.
They're getting rendered on its own, you see. Prototypes are only made for the instances. They are
Mm.
no more an instance, so they don't require a prototype.
Prototypes overrides on de-instance copies are not shared. Wait, first we de-instance them and then okay, because we first de-instance them. Okay. That's why, and we are not instancing them back. I
Yeah.
see.
So they are no more an instance, so they don't require a prototype.
I see.
That's why I was getting confused. I thought if both of them are getting de-instance, I thought maybe both of them will have separate
Trick
prototypes.
question.
New.
This was a trick question.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. 31 is correct. 32 is correct. I think. Yes. This was easy. 33 is D correct. USD Geom Cube has XForm OP scale OP added, but no value authored at default and no time samples. What is the scale revolves? How did we get this correct? USD Geom has an XForm OP scale OP, but
How did
no
we get this very
value.
good? There was clearly over there the schema fallback. I because I know I read it. I read this thing in the OpenUSD value resolution thing. This is in the notes. In that highlighted thing, it says over there that the fallback will be 111. Brother, memory, recalling my memory all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm. USD Geom Cube has an XForm OP scale added, but no value author and no time samples. What skill run? Schema fallback. Okay. Mm-hmm. 34. Okay, and answer author, is this correct? Yes, this is correct as well. Wow. USD auto scales the reference time samples to the root rate and the sample plays at 3 seconds. Oh, this I knew. Yes. And answer author with time code per second 60 holds the position sample at code 180. It is referenced into a root stage whose time code is 24. What happens to the timing? How many seconds after zero does that sample land on the root stage? Yes, 3 seconds. 34 is D. Unlike geometric time code person auto reconciled USD scale reference layer sample so the animation plays at the correct real world time relative to the root rate. So 3 seconds of playback. Um, yes, 3. Okay, you said D for 35. I said B. You are correct.
I'm correct. The consumer can read extents. But what was the question? A turbine asset uses reference payload pattern. Its publish PostScript logs the LOD
Variant set.
set a USD geo model API extent and a USD media asset preview API thumbnail onto the interface layer above the payload. The heavy mesh and shading live only inside content.usd under the payload. A shot opens the stage but never loads the payload, considering on what was lofted, which is available to the consumer. And I said D, the consumer can read extents and query the available Lord variant selection and show the summary because lofting. Because of this line, I said lofting authored those fields above the payload, so they are resolved without loading contents.usd. So this is something that has been mentioned a lot of times in other quiz and options as well. Like this is the critical line for lofting. The lofting authored those fields above the payload. That is where lofting comes in.
Which line?
Because lofting authored those fields above the payload. So they resolved without loading contents.usd. USD. Because of this line, I said D. I know why I said D. And you selected because a lofted variant set carries the content opinion above the payload. So both are similar, but this is more accurate. Above the fields, like it does above the fields, not the variant sets.
Okay, I have a detailed prompt in my mind to understand this. All right, bro. Let's take a 5 minute break
Okay, brother. Okay.
because I'll go brush my teeth and get ready for bed,
Fuck you.
and then we'll continue. And then
Fuck you, bitch. You're gonna brush your teeth. Fucking complete the stream and then do whatever course you wanna do, brother.
no, bro, because I want to fucking continue. I want to complete this fucking
Like the
PDF
quiz?
today. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think we are getting a lot of questions right as well. So I don't think
I
I'm
don't
just
know, man. Like you set a time, dude. You have to wake up in the morning.
yeah. I've already set the alarm
No,
for it,
yeah, but I'm saying that it can go till 3 as well at this phase.
bro. We'll wing it. We will wing it. देखी जाएगी. That's
I don't know. It's on you. It's all it's
yeah. It's on me. That's what I'm saying.
like you will have the lack of sleep.
It's fine. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm back.
Right.
Yeah, so who's watching the stream?
What?
Some people are watching the stream, bro. You should have kept them entertained.
Fuck you, bro. Fuck you! You
All
fuck!
right, we're doing this question. So we got this one wrong.
Which one are
35.
we talking about? Oh,
30.
35, right? So, wait, 35 was. Dude, I got it right, bitch. 35 was correct. I got it correct.
Okay,
You got it
okay.
wrong.
Okay, explain why. Explain the answer, brother,
Because
for
of
me.
this thing, lofting authored those fields above the payload. Because of this reason, I selected this answer. That's what I'm saying you again and again.
But,
Option of elimination. You know the power. The power you get.
bro, you're a fucking.
These are the
This
things
is
that
gonna
you
come
have to
bite you in your
remember.
ass. I'm telling you.
These are the things that you have to remember. Lofting authored those fields above the payload. So they resolve without loading the contents .usd. I think you should first go and look into what is lofting, I would say.
That is what I've asked over here.
Yeah.
For some questions like this, your immediate mental model should be something. API usually means an API schema that adds a known package of properties slash metadata to an existing prim. Uh, it is not necessarily a new prim mesh cube, blah blah blah. Okay, okay. Existing prim plus applied API schema behavior. Prim known now has standard extra fields tools. USD understands. The NVIDIA study guide puts this kind of question across composition payloads, blah blah blah. USD geom model API. Get extends hint and pipeline asset structure topic. When you see USD geom model API, think model level geometry metadata, not mesh, not faces, not shading. USD geom model API is about information on a model root, cached extents, draw modes, model cards, and payload lofting related model information. The OpenUSD docs describe it as extending model concepts with geometry specific data such as cached extents and geometry related payload lofting. When you see USD Geo Model API, model level geometry metadata, not mesh points, not face, not shading. Geometry is all about information on model root, cached events. USD Geo Model API is about information on model root, cached extents, draw modes, model cards, payload lofting, related model information. The OpenUSD docs describe it as extending model concepts with geometry specific data such as cached extents and geometry related payload lofting. I see. When you see USD Geom model API extend hint. So when you see USD Geom model API extend hint, think pre-computed bounding box for the whole model. So did you know this?
What, brother?
USD Geom model API extend hint.
No, brother, I did not know anything apart from that. I told you why I selected that option.
I don't give a fuck.
That was
Good,
the only reason. You know, you are
good, bro. Good. Use
winner.
that fucking
Only
elimination, bro.
winners are appreciated. This is life.
Oh my fucking god. The thing is, when you get an option, I don't think the options are gonna be that straightforward that you will be able to do the elimination bullshit over there.
Dude, everywhere you would do elimination bullshit. I'm telling you, brother. That's how you select the best option.
Okay, bro. Okay.
Because it is asking lofting. The question was regarding lofting first of all.
Okay. I'm saying if the similar concept comes in a different question with a different question like not related to lofting, what are you gonna do? That's what I'm asking.
That's the talk for that day, brother. I'm not saying that.
Bro, wow, bro. You're wow, bro. My bad, bro. I
Okay.
did not know that I was talking to future Elon Musk. Fucking Elon Musk.
Yes, quadrilinear. 1D.
Quadrillionaire. Fucking spell quadrillionaire
Q
for me.
U A D R I. I don't know. After QUDRA. Yeah, I got QUDRALLIONIARE.
Check.
Let's see. I think I'm correct. QUAD quadrat. Yeah, yeah, bro. Let's see. Quadratic, bro. Quadrat, quadrilinear.
Quadrilinear.
Yes, sir.
Quadrilinear.
Yes, brother. Quadri. Oh, it was I. I was correct, partially correct. You know.
Partially correct, bro. In life, only winners are appreciated.
Yes.
Not partially, not, 50-50.
Yes, sir. That's why I won in that quiz, brother. That's what it matters for now.
That quiz, bro. One question you got right.
That's the talk for any other day.
Another day.
Yes.
Okay, and then this lets the consumer know approximately how big the asset is without traversing all real geometry. USD Geom box cache can use authored extent hints. Value for model root prim when computing bounds notebook shortcut. USD Geom model API model level geometry metadata extensions cache model bounds. This is not renderable geometry. It is not material. It is not camera. It stores preview information like thumbnail for an asset. USD asset preview API dog set supports thumbnail preview. Okay, what lofting means here in USD asset structure context. Lofting means taking useful lightweight information. Oh no, no, no. Taking useful lightweight information that would normally live inside.
Interface contains lightweight information. Variant says Lofting promotes useful information of the interface, so it's available while payload is unloaded. But I think the only concept that they're going to ask will be related to lofting. That question is related to lofting, brother.
That would normally live inside the payload.
Ask ChatGPT, was that concept related to only lofting?
1 second, bro. I'm writing this 1 second. Contents.
Useful payload information.
That would normally live inside the payload. Contents.
So it is available while payload.
Promoting, copying it upward. Taking useful lightweight info that would normally live inside the payload content and
Is available while payload.
promoting
Promote useful payload inward up to the interface, so it is available while payload is unloaded. As
copying it upwards into the assets interface layer. The payload contains the heavy data, contents.usd, heavy mesh, heavy shading, dense geometry. Contains the heavy data content. The interface layer contains lightweight information. Asset interface layer variant sets extended thumbnail. Okay, so the middle phase lofting promotes useful payload information up the interface so it is available while payload is unloaded. Reference slash payload pattern. Think of the asset as split into two zones. Interface layer always composed, lightweight, visible to consumers. Contains the asset root and payload R. Payload contents optional, load heavy, expensive. Contains real mesh shading details. NVIDIA Learn OpenUSD references. Payload material describes reference and payload as composition arcs used for modular, efficient, reusable scene description. So when the question says a shot opens the stage but never loads the payload, your immediate thought should be wait the reference payload option load available. The shot opens when the stage opens the stage but never loads the payload. The consumer sees the interface layer. The consumer does not see the payload contents. That means available anything authored above outside the payload. Anything that exists only inside the content not used under the payload. Now for the question. Question says what's says the PostScript lofts three things onto the interface layer. LOD variant set, USDGeomable, USDGeom model, API extends hint, USD media asset, preview API thumbnail. You can hear it.
Yeah, bro, this was loud and clear.
Bro, these fucking people.
Question sharing live only a contender.
Let me see if I can hear it on the stream as well.
Bro, for sure.
And the heavy mesh and shading live only here. Contents.usd under the payload. Then the shot opens the stage but never loads the payload. So the consumer can use only the things that would often. Mm, what capabilities available is consumer can see slash select LOD variant set, read the
So that other extent and now
mm,
layout selection, LOD system, card mode, imposters, fetch the instrument, the model bounds, and step with the geometry change if you want to use exact time and bound, you might not author inventory periodically compute of the geo model model user performance. Okay, so
mm,
extended is only use a performance hint. Okay, and then I think it would be paired with lofting usually. I would say.
mm-hmm.
Represent compute extend use it if not use to call it as a customer which may be expensive and the recommendation to author extend if possible. Extend hints so you can really be cached.
What did you just say?
So extend hint is for performance. Cache to linear local space bounding box for a single prim. And it basically caches the prim or the bounding box for that specific prim that we're trying to compute. It caches the local space in which the prim is getting computed. Compute for it, geometry attribute the layer and time where it's authored. Okay. Computed for it is resolved. So it says over here,
Okay.
it's computed for it resolved geometry attributes at the layer and the time where it's authored, basically. So I think this would be paired with a time code or value clips, I would say, where you're trying to render a complex animation and you want to use extend hint to improve the performance by caching the values locally over there.
Okay, now let me read the question one more time. A turbine asset uses reference slash payload pattern. It publishes PostScript lofts. PostScript lofts the LOD variant set a USD geom model API extends hint and a USD media asset preview API thumbnail onto the interface layer above the payload. The heavy mesh and shading live only inside the content.usd under the payload. Only inside the content.usd under the payload. A shard opens the stage but never loads the payload, considering only what was lofted. Which capability is available to that consumer? Consider only what was lofted. Okay, the consumer can read extends hint, query the available LOD variant selection, and show the thumbnail because lofting authored those fields above the payload so they resolve without loading contents.usd. I see. And what did I select? The consumer can switch LOD variant. Insert carries the contents opinion above the payload. Author those thumbnail. Ah, I understand this now. Okay. Next question.
36.
36 was right. While building an extraction implementation, a developer finds the source
You
format
know what,
concept.
dude? We did use. No, no, I think this was on you. You first went with lossy mapping, and then you went with A.
What is the situation? Wait, while building an extraction implementation,
The developer
a
file
developer finds a source format concept that maps
was
to
the
no existing OpenUSD.
situation called.
What is the situation called? What? Yes, a scene description schema gap.
Yeah.
Identify it and consider proposing a new schema. Hmm. Yeah. I
Okay.
will anyway do, but I will do it on my time, own time. I never need to do I think, the data exchange module and the instancing module one more time
Okay.
because
A
I think
binary asset saved with .usd extension is referenced by several layers. A developer.
you said B, I said D.
What is
Let's see.
the answer?
It is B.
B for boss. Renaming the file updates every reference automatically, so binary form can be discarded. And I said this. Well, dude, this is something I read again and again, like somewhere, bro, in our quizzes as well, or somewhere there was a line that was written. So that's why I went with this. Renaming the file updates the references so the binary form can be discarded. I don't know. So a USD file can be either ASCII or binary, so its underlying encoding can be swapped at any time without breaking references. A binary asset saved with .usd extension is referenced by several layers. A developer needs to read its raw scene description to track down a bug, and then return it to binary without rewriting any of the reference that target it. What property of the .usd extension make this possible?
Hmm.
Dude, we will end the stream at 2.
Bye, bro.
Dude, I had promised Divya to take her to the lab for her experiment
She wants to go at 2 or 3.
at 2. Like she's saying that she needs to start a new measurement around 2:30. So yeah, and you told me earlier that we might be,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we will just do stream till 2, and then we can pack it up for today. But I told you, bro, it's like at this pace, it will take.
Bro, but it's all right because we are doing a lot of topics that we didn't do as well. Like
No, no,
schema was.
I'm not worried about that. I'm saying you that you were telling me, right? You want to complete everything. So I told you that it will take a lot of time.
And bro, please generate 5 quizzes like this.
What will I do by generating the 5 quizzes if you do not have
Send it to me.
time?
Send it to me. I will do it.
You can also generate it, brother. You have the same thing.
But you didn't push the fucking
Dude, I
thing
did
or
push it. I
the
did.
recent one. The recent one.
What? There is no recent one, dude. There is the same thing that I'm using the same thing, brother. There's no changes. Then that's the same quiz that you will have. What recent one? I'm just generating the quiz. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mm-hmm.
You have the same thing. You can also generate infinite number of quizzes.
Okay, let me fucking do that then right now.
Yeah.
And then you can go after that.
You haven't even cloned the thing
What is
yet.
it called?
Learn OpenUSD. Dude, what the fuck are you? I did send you the link, right? I did send you the fucking link as well.
Bro, you send me a million things. I cannot go keep
You
and
have to keep note of everything, brother.
shut the fuck up, bro.
Fuck
Like,
you, bro.
if
Fuck you.
okay, and
Yeah, change the branch. Change the branch. This,
which branch is it on?
yeah. And this
Last
exam, it's in the exam. Everything
this
is
one.
in the exam. Yeah.
How can I just clone this branch?
You first clone that branch, clone the main branch, and then check out.
Sorry, this directory. I
You
mean,
cannot clone the specific directory, I guess.
I see.
Uh, like you can do, but it would be kind of difficult. But you can just ask Cloud Code again.
Let me. I do have your thing, but it does not have the exam, so I'm guessing it's in a different window. Claude. CD into desktop projects. Yes. Hmm. She's upset. She's going on about something that you said. She doesn't show humor like I do. I'm on a home in the cause she doesn't know humor like I do. She wears short shorts, I wear t-shirts. She's chair cabinet, I'm on. Looking for something to hold from Okay, what do I cloned your repo?
Do slash.
Wait, why am I not seeing your
Because
branch?
you are not on that correct branch. Did you clone my repo or someone else?
Bruh, how the fuck can you ask stupid question?
I can see that branch. Add runnable companion, bitch.
Yeah, this is one. Okay, exam. Okay, you're saying slash what?
Slash generate if it's like this. No, no, caps off, brother. GEN. No, it's not over here. Just ask Claude Code to take a look at that exam and generate the quiz. It will take care of it.
What is the Python file doing in here?
That generates that PDF.
Oh, I see.
Yes, don't ask again.
Why is it not working?
You see, it picked up that generate quiz command as well.
Generate
Yeah,
quiz
yeah, yeah, yeah,
command.
yeah, yeah. That's what. This is what I was saying. But for some reason, it did not pick it up earlier. Okay then, brother. I think
You used which model? Opus.
yeah, that's the model that I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, brother. I will take my leave, and I think you are pretty pro at Claude Code.
Yeah.
Mm. It's good. Claude Code will know everything about it, and it's going to generate a quiz. But sometimes it will hallucinate, so that's on you. I have to force it a lot of the times and have to run multiple times a verification agent to make sure